From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
All right, welcome into The Horse's Mouth here. Tommy Max at my bar, of course, where everybody has a chance to take a seat, grab a drink, and tell their story. It's Biz Champions time with our friend Major Harding, and we have a return visitor because they have a great event coming up, a Kingfish tournament happening right in our neck of the woods for an awesome cause. Louis Joseph is back, and we'll talk about the North Florida King of the Beach tournament. Louis, how are you, my man?
Doing good, buddy.
Welcome back to the show. I appreciate you.
Glad to be back.
Yeah, I know you came in here a few weeks ago talking about it. I said, well, come back when it's closer. And now we're a week away. Is that right?
That's right.
How does that make you feel, man? All that work, and now it's right here in front of you.
It's the end is near, which is a positive on one hand, but we're still a week out, and there's still a lot of things that add a lot of stress. We're waiting on weather and a lot of things to kind of fall into place.
Okay.
But either way, it's going to be a great event. It's going to be, it's for a great cause. So
awesome. Do you? Is it how many boats sign up? Is that how you measure things, or is it people, or is it for the tournament itself? I know you got a lot of events going on with the actual fishing tournament, but
so in the beginning, it was kind of just the captain's meeting, a fishing day, the award ceremony the same day. But as we've grown and gained sponsors and a lot of other things have grown with it, it's more of like a week of events now. There's a poker tournament, brought on by Best Bet next Wednesday that we started last year, which is cool. It's another opportunity for us to raise some money. And then the big event, which is the captain's meeting, which is next Thursday. There's a lot going on. And then, we added a new tournament within the kind of the tournament that was already existing, this year called the Unbound, where there's no rules, essentially, or limited rules. Kind of go wherever you want, no boundaries.
Right.
Which is new this year. Then the big beach day is going to be next Saturday, and that's where you're going to have a lot of the entries, and then award ceremony on Sunday. So a lot going on next week.
That's fantastic, man. I'm so glad you came back. Emi Chavez Miller's here from Mason's Voice, which the tournament is all about, right? Tell us about Mason's Voice, please, Emi.
Well, Mason's Voice is a local 501c3 charity, which we're very proud of. It's, of course, named after or in honor of Louis and his wife Bailey's daughter, Mason. And she's the inspiration for all of this. The tournament is the driver or the fundraiser for the charity. So they're hand in hand. And our goal is to raise money to sponsor families that receive a diagnosis of spina bifida in the womb, like Mason did.
Right.
And those families elect to have fetal surgery at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia.
That's right.
Which Mason also received. Bailey and Mason, really, it's the mother and the child, both go through a procedure. And during that time, there's obviously a lot of financial stress. You have to, leave your home, your career, sometimes your job. You can't travel alone, so sometimes that means bringing family with you, and you, of course, need somewhere to live. Sometimes you might have to bring your other children. So it's a lot. And so we work to raise money through the tournament so that we can alleviate some of that stress for the families.
That's fantastic. That's a lot of stress, I can only imagine. And you lived through it.
Oh, we did,
so you know why.
And that's why we felt so compelled to do something. One, we wanted to bring awareness, but two, we just kind of want to give back and do some good.
Do all proceeds go to the families? Do any go to researchers, or mostly for the families?
Everything goes to the families.
Okay, good.
The Children's Hospital of Philadelphia and a lot of the other hospitals now that do some of these services and procedures. Essentially, the patients are kind of the studies. They follow them, and they and every time they do one of these procedures, they learn a little more. And as the kids get older, they learn a little more. It's my wife. I think at the time she was one of like 300 and some odd. Women to go through this. Which, because it's a very rare thing. I think it's roughly 1,500 kids in the United States diagnosed a year.
What does spina bifida do to the child, just so I'm fully aware?
Yeah, so there's several different forms of spina bifida. The worst being the myelomeningocele version, which is the one that my daughter has. Basically, there's just a part of the spine, like the closing of the spine, that does not close all the way, leaving a hole or a lesion. And amniotic fluid can go in there and damage the nerves.
Gotcha.
Depending on where the level of the lesion is on the spine is obviously, indicative of how much damage or how much impact will be done based on where those nerves are. Because everything kind of below, right? The higher, the worse, essentially.
Okay.
And then what they do with the procedure is they go in there and they basically close it.
Okay.
And then they place, the baby back in the mom.
Wow.
And then they close the mom back up.
Right.
And of course, they have no way of knowing how much nerve damage is done.
Right.
Which is all kind of comes later, right? So.
You got to wait and see. So.
Right. Man, that's a specialized surgery.
It's very specialized, and Dr. Adzik, who was the one that just kind of, I guess, created this procedure, and he's the one that actually did the procedure on my wife. When he was telling us a story about how this came to be, my jaw dropped. I was like, what? Like and then I realized how small I really was, and how capable people can be. But yeah, it's a very tough thing to go through, as I'm sure you can imagine. But we're very thankful that there's opportunities out there to kind of help your child, because I think just like any normal parent, when your child is diagnosed or suffering from something, you're going to do whatever you can to help them out. So we don't feel any different from any parent. We were just one of the statistics,
Right.
Now, I may have said this before on the last segment we did, but they put Mason in the top 1% of outcomes. So we feel very blessed and fortunate. There's no cure, but she's in much better shape.
Good.
Given the the procedure benefiting her the way that it can. So we just felt compelled to want to do some good with some things, and and we're very young still into this. But I think we've been very successful so far.
Yeah, it's going to be a great event. That's good. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. Major, I didn't say hi to you, but I know you've known the Josephs for a long time. It's got to warm your heart, man.
It is. What a great story.
No doubt.
And to see the success they've had over from 60-something boats to 600-something boats, and everybody buys in because it's the Mason's voice.
No doubt about it. Well, best of luck. Let us know how it goes, would you? Come back, sit down, and tell us how it went.
Sure.
Awesome, man. Keep up the great work, my friend. Appreciate it. Nice to meet you. Major, always a pleasure, my man. All right, North Florida King of the Beach tournament. Make sure you check it out. What's the website they can go to?
nfkingofthebeach.com.
nfkingofthebeach.com for a great cause. And hey, if you don't want to fish, there's awesome events starting next Wednesday night. So get into that. I think Best Bet is doing a poker tournament next Wednesday night. All right, that'll do it for us. Make sure you check out their profiles and this cause and this great tournament. You can go to dailynewsnetwork.com. You'll see this conversation and hundreds of others. So until next time, stay safe out there and be cool. And you know what? Do the Lord's work like the Josephs are doing, man. And we'll see you next time right here on The Horse's Mouth. Cheers.
Even though we do have two different liquors, it's still one name. It's YOLO Rum, and at the end of the day, it's how you feel. And YOLO Rum, you only live once, and that's more prevalent. That's becoming more prevalent as far as the attitude and the mindset with how people live their lives. And it's not about how it used to be as far as people doing dumb stuff out here. It's more of they're understanding the value of their life. And if we can bring that presence of the meaning behind life and what it means to fulfill whatever you need to fulfill in your life that makes you feel enjoyable about what you're doing, that's what YOLO will bring out as well.